Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that gave me serious chills. One that makes you wonder what really goes bump in the night, especially when little ones are involved. This is Julius's story, and it happened when he was just 15 years old, back in 2015, so grab a comfy blanket, maybe turn on a little light, because this one might just make you look over your shoulder. Back then, Julius had a baby sister named Ari. She was only one, and, like most babies, she was the absolute star of the family. Everyone adored her, showering her with love and attention. Everyone, that is, except Julius. Now, he didn't exactly hate her, but let's just say her energy was a little much. Ari was loud, constantly babbling, and, in his words, a bit annoying. Her favorite mode of transportation was her walker, which she'd zoom around in, bumping into furniture, causing a ruckus, and then laughing like a tiny, joyful ghost every time she knocked something over. Can you imagine the chaos? One particular afternoon, Julius found himself on solo baby duty. His mum had gone to the market, and his dad was out with friends. It was just him and Ari at home, a common scenario for many older siblings. Julius, being a typical teenager, was tired. He was sprawled on the couch, lost in his phone, trying to enjoy a rare moment of peace. But Ari, naturally, had other plans. To keep her contained and prevent her from ricocheting off every surface in the house, Julius had a clever, albeit slightly mischievous, idea. He tied a small string to her walker and fastened it to the leg of a heavy table. This gave her enough room to explore the living room without venturing into forbidden zones. Ari continued her usual routine, laughing, babbling her sweet AAA sounds, almost as if she was having a lively conversation with someone only she could see. Then, Julius heard it, kaluskos, a faint, almost imperceptible rustling sound, drifting from the kitchen. His first thought, the cat, probably just up to its usual mischief, trying to get into something it shouldn't. So, he begrudgingly peeled himself off the couch to investigate. The kitchen was empty. No cat, no signs of any rodents, nothing. A little perplexed, he shrugged it off and headed back to his couch, back to his phone. But a moment later, it came again. Kaluskos, kaluskos, and then Ari's laughter. This time, it was different. She was looking intently towards the kitchen, giggling louder now, her little hands reaching out as if to greet someone. A shiver ran down Julius's spine. He tried to rationalize it. Adults often say babies can see angels, right? Maybe that's what this was. A comforting, albeit slightly unsettling, thought. But then, he noticed something chilling. Every single time that faint rustling sound returned, Ari's laughter grew louder, more joyous. Her eyes would sparkle with delight, and her tiny body would lean forward. Straining towards the unseen presence in the kitchen, Julius slowly stood up. The sun was beginning to set, casting long shadows and fading the light outside. Inside the house, the air suddenly grew cold. Not just a slight chill, but a sharp, sudden drop in temperature, like someone had just flung open a freezer door right behind him. "Ari," he called out, his voice barely a whisper. Ari's laughter stopped instantly. The room fell silent, save for the frantic beat of Julius's own heart. Then, from the kitchen, the sound came again. But this time, it wasn't faint. It was longer, heavier, a distinct scraping sound, like fingernails dragging slowly across the wooden floor. Ari, instead of being scared, screamed with pure delight. Leaning even further forward, her eyes wide with wonder, following something invisible that was slowly, deliberately, crawling out of the kitchen and into the living room. Panic seized Julius. Instinct took over. He yanked hard on the string tied to the walker. It screeched across the tiled floor, creak. A desperate sound cutting through the eerie silence. He snatched Ari up, holding her tightly against his chest, her small body trembling. His heart was hammering so loudly he could hear it over her ragged breath. They ran. They didn't dare close the door behind them, but even when they were outside, standing in the relative safety of the yard, Ari wasn't looking at him. Her wide eyes were fixed on the open doorway, following something unseen that was still inside the house. Julius told himself it was just his imagination, a teenage mind playing tricks in the twilight. But from that day on, every time he came home, he swore he could still hear a soft kaluskos sound emanating from that very corner of the kitchen. And whenever Ari visited, she would always look towards that spot and smile. What do you all think? Was it just an overactive imagination, or did Ari have a friend Julius couldn't see? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if it gave you a good scare. Subscribe for more chilling tales, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next story. Thanks for watching, and stay spooky.